Well, that did not work at all. Buried before I even got in. So gotta set these max tracks, like traction, off-road traction mat things. See if that works. I'm not too hopeful, but all right, well, last night was an adventure we haven't had before. So out here this morning doing the chores. Wow, that sunrise is beautiful this morning. All right, I'm like a dog, squirrel. So I was sitting at the table starting to edit last night. And I heard a horn, and that's kind of not normal for out in our area. We're way out in the country. We got only a couple neighbors, not usually hearing a horn. So I look out the window, I see some lights. Oops. I see some lights in our driveway. So I walk out, about 40 degrees. I just walk out in a t-shirt because I didn't know what was going on. And it was the neighbor across the street. He said, "Hey, do you have a pig out?" And I said, "I hope not." To which he responded, "Big old sow with spots." And I said, "Yep, that's mine." So he said the pig was in their field, their yard across the street behind a truck. To which I thought I was gonna have to go find him. Turns out they were right here in our yard. Both pigs were out. Both of the girls, they're in right now. They were both out wandering around. So I have not had a charger on their fence for the last 10 days they've been in this paddock. They gotta move. We're gonna move them today. Gotta set up nets and move them today. But have not had a charger on. So she's about to get so they somehow got out. It looks like they walked maybe over the fence and got out. They moved their shelter, and their shelter was on some mud. So my guess is they couldn't go to sleep and they were looking for something. Just getting into trouble. Their paddock is about tore up, so they are ready to move. But luckily they followed me. I just called them and they followed me back over. I got a bucket of feed and they walked right back in, and I put the new charger on. We ordered that new charger from Premier One, and that's 100. I think the other ones were 60. I don't know, 60. I don't think they're joules, however they rate it. Anyway, that's a bigger one. And that thing, I turned that on. That thing hits hard. They both got shocked a couple times. She just got shocked again. So yeah, this one definitely hits hard. They're definitely ready to move. But incredibly difficult with the camera. Hold on one second. Yeah, so that charger hits really hard. I guess moral of the story is keep the charger on your pigs, because like I said, they made it 10 days with no charger, and then finally they said the heck with it, we're getting out, we're exploring. So we got to pick up that fence from their old paddock. It's still muddy out here from the all that rain we got with the almost 4 inches. So have to pick up that old fence and get their area cleared, and we'll move them to a new paddock today. But yeah, that was my fun adventure. Oh, I don't think I said it earlier. This was about 8 o'clock last night that I saw this, 7:45. So spent an hour outside in a t-shirt at 8 o'clock at night. It's 40 degrees. It was a little chilly, but they came back in, got them in. So luckily they know their feed and they're super docile pigs. I think if it was a more aggressive pig, it would have been harder, but they just follow right along. So that's the fun story of yesterday. All right, and I'm gonna attempt, it's been a couple hours since we fed. I'm gonna attempt to get the mower in here and try to drive through here. It's a little soft in certain spots, but my hope is that where the grass is, it's not too soft, because it's pretty thick to have to take the weed whacker through here. So I'm gonna attempt to drive the mower in here and hope I don't get stuck. But I'll go get the mower and then we can see. It's pretty soft in here where the pigs were, but on this grass you can see over here. This area doesn't get a lot of sun, but if you walk where the grass is, it's not too bad. So I'll get the mower, see if I can't make it over here without getting buried. If I do, I guess I'll have to get the weed whacker. I only got about an hour to get the pigs moved. So hopefully it works, because if it doesn't, it's gonna be a long day. Well, that did not work at all. Buried before I even got in. So gotta set these max tracks, like traction, off-road traction mat things. See if that works. I'm not too hopeful, but I brought the weed whacker just in case. Could at least get the pigs moved. This is so soupy. This is where all the water from the property flows, and then it flows off to the front. So it's a mess. Well, I got it out of that spot. Got stuck here, got it out of there, and then it's buried here. So I'm just gonna try to have to pull the Jeep in here later and see if I can't pull this thing out. But this ground is so soft, so I'm just gonna take the weed whacker through there. It'll be enough to get the fence in there. Luckily I only have to do the one side and then I can fit the fence, so I'll use the weed whacker now. All right, I think that was the easy part. As difficult as that was. I gotta try to go dig the old net out of the previous paddock they were in, because we never took it down because of the rain and the weather. So I try to dig that out, and then I'm running out of time. So I think what I'll have to do is just open up the paddock for the pigs. They can go explore it, and then when I'm done, I can just move their shelter and their water over. So here's the net, there's one, and the other is over there and goes that way. So I'll start picking this up and try to get them in there, because they are ready to go. This paddock is pretty tore up from all the rain, and they're growing impatient. So if you've been watching from the beginning, you know that these two pigs here, we really struggled moving the first time we got them. And then I did a video a couple months ago where it was easier. So now they'll literally, as soon as I open it up, they're ready to go. I might be a little bit nervous after getting shocked last night, but this one's Maple. She's always the first one in. I think she's in charge. And then this one's Apple. So if they're ever on video, Apple's got the big spot on her butt, and then Maple does not. So it was that easy. Now this fence here is a tangled mess. That's probably going to be harder than it was getting them in there. So like I said, I think I'm just going to leave all their stuff in this other paddock because I'm running out of time. I may get their shelter because that's real close, but I gotta find a good spot to put it, which actually right where I'm standing is a pretty good spot because they won't lay in their shelter if there's brambles in it. So I gotta find some of this grass and stuff, but I also have to find a spot where it's backed up to brambles because they use their shelter as a scratching post, and then they'll scratch it and then it'll go into the fence or wherever. So I'll pull this net from their old paddock, put this new one on, and then they'll be good to go. They're in, got the shelter. It's got some nice grass underneath it. We're just out exploring. Gotta get the charger, gonna hook that up. They did have a little bit of feed left over from this morning, so I'll get that. Put that in here, and then they'll be good to go. So I think they're in these paddocks for about 12 days. I think actually this paddock where they were just in, they really ended up being, today was day 11. But as you can see, there's not much left of it, and they don't like it when it's super muddy because all they do is walk around the outside. And all pigs, well, all pigs that I've seen and the pigs that we have and have had, they all poop in one area. So they find what we call a poop corner, and that's what they use. So the bigger they get, the bigger the area, and then they don't go into that area really unless they're going to the bathroom. So these paddocks, it's probably, I don't know, 20% of the paddock is usually their poop area. So it's not as bad in the summer. It's worse now because it gets all muddy and stuff, but in the summer with the grass and everything else it's a little bit better. But get this charger moved. Their water, we're actually going to use the IBC totes that we filled up, the one IBC tote. So that'll be the first time using that, which would be nice. But get this charger moved, then I'll bring it over to the boys, show how big they're getting, and then I'll move them probably tomorrow. I'm in no rush. They don't care. They were just over there. They were just laying in the sun. So I'll get this charger moved over, and then we'll go over to see the boys. Oh, that's some calm pigs right there. Apple's in the shelter, Maple's over there. They couldn't care about anything else. So the boys are in there, just hanging out, sleeping. They're right there. Their paddock had more grass than brambles, but you can see they've done quite a bit of damage to it in a good way. They don't leave as big of holes as the girls do. So the girls, and then Fatty, when we had our previous male pig before we processed him, they left way bigger divots and craters in the ground. But the boys, I think because they're small yet, they don't do that. And Red is not gonna, he doesn't root down too much, just a little bit. But you can see their feeder has been moved. And I checked it last night, it's pretty much out of food. So we filled that thing up, 150 pounds 12 days ago. The boys have been in here for 12 days today. The girls we moved a day after last time. So they've gone through 150 pounds of feed in 12 days. Plus they've been getting all the scraps, all of our food scraps and everything else. So they're definitely getting bigger. So they're sleeping right now. You can see them a little bit better here. Can't really get the size, but I think I said that earlier in the video, but if I didn't, Crispy is taller than Red now, but Red is getting more and more round. So I think Crispy's going to be tall. His mom was tall, so I think he's going to be pretty tall, and then we have high hopes for Red as far as getting big. So we got his process date. We're not going to process him here on farm because he's going to be ready like end of July. So we called a processor that we reached out to last year, not too far, and it was super late last year. They were going to try to squeeze us in, but they never had any openings, so that's why we processed him by ourselves. But this year we're going to send Red off to be processed at a local processor. His date is August, I think it's 14th. I have to check the calendar. 14th, 15th, 13th, something like that. Right around the middle of August, he goes to the processor. So it'll be interesting to see what his meat looks like. He'll be a little bit older than Fatty. Red will be 10 months at that point. So he'll be a little bit older, hopefully a little bit bigger. But once the girls have piglets, we'll definitely process those ourselves because it'll be during the winter. But it's just with the house not built yet, we're hoping we're pretty close by August, or at least doing interior finishes and stuff. But it's going to be too hot. I mean, August is the hottest month of the year, so it's going to be too hot to process a pig outside in those temperatures. So I'm just going to send them off to the processor. But I got to run now. I got some stuff to take care of, but we'll pick this up this afternoon. I'll move the boys a couple hours when I get back and get done with what I got to do. And hopefully, last move they were a little bit better, so hopefully they go into their new paddock a little bit easier. Well, fresh rainwater, filling up the barrel. Got the Milwaukee pump hooked up. Just fill this up. The girls haven't been drinking that much water lately because we're limiting their feed, so they don't drink as much as the boys. The boys will go through a full barrel in one paddock. The girls go through about half to 3/4, so they drink substantially less water, but they're eating about the same amount of feed. The girls are on, the girls we do 1 pound of feed for every month they are old, so they're about 11 months old now. So they're getting 22 pounds of feed throughout the day. They're probably getting a little bit more than that. The boys are just as much as they can eat. So we'll get this barrel filled up, and then I did pull the net over here, the old net from the girls, and put it over by the boys over there. It's kind of over by the chicken coop. So once we get this filled up, we'll go over there, and I'm probably gonna have to weed whack an area for the fence to go. So we will do that. All right, so we got it all mowed and everything. There's a big owl. I'm gonna open up the fence, see if they come in. I got a little feed on the ground. I got one bag in the feeder. Epic. Come on, Fix. Of course, Red is always the first one in. Come on, Christy. Been in this paddock for 12 days, but now this spot right here is very important, and you got to root it up. Couldn't have found it 12 days ago. Got to find it right now. I'm trying to get them to move. You can see the difference between a boar and a cut male. Crispy is on his own schedule. Red, at the feeder, just literally wants to eat. That's it. All right, Crispy finally walked in. We got their feeder filled up, 3 bags, 150 pounds of feed. Oh shoot, I forgot about the water. Let's go see where that's at. Water is almost full. So I'm gonna drop the camera real quick, see if I can't get the fence because Crispy is in, and then I'll pick it back up. All right, I think we're done now. It took a little bit longer than I was expecting. I think it's 6:15, 20 after 6. So both pigs are in. I just got to move the Energizer over. Guess I'll move the chickens. It's been a while since we filmed them. I think they're getting pretty big. All the roosters are crowing, but no eggs yet. We're hoping soon. So it's probably where I'll leave this one. Just a little bonus video. It's been a while since I've shown the animals what they're doing, how they're doing, how big they're getting. So that's where we'll leave this one. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video.
Okay, Adam and I are putting purlins on the house side of the roof, and we could hear a chicken laying an egg, and this is our very first egg. So exciting.